Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change, I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding. Dick riding for tomorrow, dick riding for today, dick riding for the straight, dick riding for the gay, dick riding for America, dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick, just as long as it's Barack's, and now we're dick riding.
Good morning.
Hola, buenos dias.
You didn't run that new intro by the whole group, because I don't remember having a vote. Oh yeah, we don't believe in democracy. I'm sorry.
And say this is full on dictatorship.
Hey,
I make the intros and y'all just deal with it.
Democracy only counts if you show up for the vote. Me and him were here early. We voted.
No, I missed
Boom.
it.
Democracy happened.
And Clyde sent that in the group chat, so that's why I decided we're going to use that for the intro today.
I feel like my vote is being suppressed.
Well, it also seemed fitting since we're World War weekend, and we're
riding Obama's dick.
Well, basically, since
he's as much to blame for this as anyone. So
I say he's the primary reason that we're in this whole situation to begin with. And one other to kick us off on the right foot. Here we go.
Clyde.
That one seemed really fitting.
Yeah.
For the top of the show too. He missed his he missed the intro. I'm not running it again. You'll just have to go back and watch the first 2 minutes of this. I made an intro especially for you, and then
I know we did it for you.
He wasn't here.
Then you didn't show up.
Typical Clyde fashion.
Was Don Bass didn't even show up.
I thought I was thinking it was daylight savings time this week, but I don't know.
What?
What's that to do with today?
That happens on Sunday, and it's not even this Sunday. It's like not for 2 months.
I don't know, man. I just yeah. I had to go feed the dogs and stuff. I was running late. So was it a Boondocks?
Yes.
Intro? Was it okay? Good. I hope it's not like real scary stuff.
I ran
love
the
that
dick
show.
riding Obama.
Doesn't get much more scary than that.
Dick riding Obama.
I believe there's a longer version of that song out there. It's so catchy. It's like it'll be stuck in your head forever now. So, but it's beautiful.
But that was the perfect. Like that was the perfect for the intro. I didn't need anything longer.
We know Michelle's not riding that dick because she's got one of her own.
Oh, there we go. Right off the bat.
I really like like when you brought up like that quote from what's his face? Oh, Bush. It really reminded like one of the funniest things when I saw like some quotes from speeches from people, especially like Biden yesterday, was just the hypocrisy of all of them. Like here's one that I liked, like Putin has committed an assault on the very principles that uphold the global peace. It's just like fuck you, dude. So do you. So do all you fuckers. And then of course, who was vice president when all this shit was going down back in 2014 and such.
I don't know, man.
That's for sure.
Does anybody like actually know what's going on over there?
You can't trust anything you hear on like regular media, right?
Well, it's funny.
It's hard to this early on in anything. It's hard to know. So,
well, because everybody's like, oh, you can't trust the Ukrainian media, you can't trust the Russian media. And it's like, wait a minute, like, so you don't trust them, but you'll trust ours? Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. You can't trust ours.
Yeah. No, I know, but I've seen a lot of people like talking about how like you can't trust either side because it's all propaganda, and it's like, I think that notion would probably be picked up by normies, like they would accept that as, yeah, you can't trust Chinese media, you can't trust Russian media, but like have no problem, believing everything Joy Behar has to say, I mean, like,
Come on, it's
Did
New
you
York
see
Times,
what?
dude.
Did you
Take
see
a
what
look.
that ignorant bitch said?
I
What is
can't
she-
go to Italy.
Is that what she said now?
Yeah, they were talking about
Kind of.
the atrocities that are happening, and she
it's
said,
almost-
"I know it's so terrible. I've had to cancel my trip to Italy again after I've been trying to do this for 4 years, and some people just may never get to take these vacations." It's like, bitch, what the fuck? Is that like that's really what you're worried about? Is your vacation? And
It was good. It was good. I couldn't believe it. I was like, somebody said it. I don't know. I didn't know who Joy Behar was until like I saw that clip. I was like the black lady that was talking. I was expecting, like, it seemed like she was like, okay, she's kind of like, it doesn't seem like she's gonna say anything outrageous right now. And then it cut to the old lady. And I was like, oh, old white lady, here we go. And she lit it up, man. No problem.
To Corey's comment you just highlighted, like I read a thread this morning about I guess the capacity of like even Russia's technology right now, which obviously it's really is. I mean, if it is what we're seeing, like on the clips, it's a very sparse invasion. It's like all over the place, but like what they're using doesn't look that far removed from like World War II technology. Like, is this them just holding back? Is it a facade? There's a lot of like confusing stuff going on.
What else do you use other than tanks?
Yeah,
They're
right.
just better tanks, I guess.
Yes.
so talking about the sparseness of it, so I was watching a lot of yesterday while I was working on moving stuff. I attempted to put on like some of the mainstream news like CBS and ABC. ABC, they were talking about TikTok videos and how Ukrainian people are sharing TikTok videos, and so the importance of TikTok in all of
Solidarity.
this, and just TikTok. I was like, shut the
Isn't that
fuck
Chinese?
up. Like, actually report some news. Quit talking about fucking TikTok. So I ended up turning that off. I found the best coverage that I was kind of following throughout the course of the day yesterday was on
Applebee's
YouTube.
commercial on CNN.
On YouTube.
Yes.
On YouTube.
World War
there
II sponsored
were,
by Applebee's.
live news streams from DW, which is a German news station, and then India Today or whatever, like an Indian news station. They were doing a lot of coverage and talking about like actually what's going on. And then I found Putin's full speech that he made the other night. And a lot of it was, see, I'm gonna get blasted for being completely wrong on this, but a lot of it is what I had kind of suspected that it was. The Russian military moved into the Donbass region, and the surrounding area that they have military placements, and the airstrikes and the attacks that they're making are almost exclusively on Ukrainian military posts and military bases. They took out the Ukrainian air support. Like, they're specifically targeting Ukrainian military sites, because what like is getting ignored through all of this, and they're acting like Russia is the aggressor. The Ukraine has been waging an almost all-out war against the Donbass region for the past 8 years, because, and there may have been, for all accounts of what's going on, there was some Russian allegiance and Russian backing in the Donbass region, but that region like democratically decided, we don't want to be a part of the Ukraine. We want to be independent, separate states of our own, and so the Ukraine has been just like bombarding and attacking them ever since to try to force, because that's how you bring somebody back into the fold, is you bomb them into the Middle Ages and then like force them to come back. That's the way that you convince somebody, oh no, you should really stay and be a part of us, because if you don't, we're just going to bomb you into the Stone Ages and completely obliterate you.
I mean, it worked for
the
Lincoln, right?
South. Yeah.
Did it though? Did it though?
We still haven't recovered.
Yeah. There's another thread speaking to the sparseness of these attacks. This is conspiracy land, but this was also nuked by Twitter, so I just read this through screenshots. But the cities and areas that Russia is going after happen to maybe contain labs set up by the U.S., perhaps looking into dangerous viruses. Have you seen this?
Yes. So there
Have you heard about this?
were
Seen
I
this?
saw that briefly.
there were a
No.
number of different posts and stuff on that have since been taken down, at least as far as I can find.
Mhm.
But if you could catch them while they were still up, apparently a number of the sites that got hit were where the U.S. has biolabs set up around the
How many
Ukrainian
biolabs
border.
do we have?
Too
I
many.
know, right?
How many do you need? Why are they everywhere?
They'll
This is
never tell.
insane.
We can't build a chip plant to build, semiconductors. We can't rely on China, but we got viruses up the ass ready to.
Right.
bring out
What
there.
you need, dog? I got your smallpox right here.
Unfortunately, the dogs are not getting the fair treatment here.
The fact that that is getting nuked so quickly from like every social media leads me to think that it's probably accurate. Like
Yeah, there might be something to it.
these days, the faster they take something down, the more I'm inclined to think there's probably something legit going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's just like trying to free the beagles?
I mean, if he is, then
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you've seen him
Respect
riding the
level goes
bear.
higher.
He appreciates like
he does like dogs. That's true.
animals
He
and
wants to eat
dogs.
those dogs.
Like, he's just gonna liberate those little bastards.
So you said you saw you watched the speech from 2 nights ago. Did you see the one he gave yesterday?
No, I didn't see yesterday's. I had different stuff just running on my phone and listening to it and watching as I was working on moving yesterday. And then once we got, if you can't tell, I have a different background today. I'm actually in the new house. So once we kind of got,
I thought that was
once my
green
wife
screen.
got off work and we got settled in, we really kind of focused on just getting settled into the house. And I didn't pay much attention to anything at all.
Her.
I did a live stream with Eric of Rebel with a Cause, and we talked about UFOs and ghosts and like
cool.
forest monsters and stuff like that. And I have not paid attention to anything news related for probably the last 12 hours.
Was that on
probably the
his
best.
show?
Yeah.
Was that on Rebel? Okay, cool. I guess so. Your house looks like, I don't know if you guys are going to redecorate or what, but it looks like somebody's grandma's house.
It was my wife's
I
grandma's
think that's
house.
what it was, right?
Cool. I don't feel so bad now. It's like, oh man,
Man.
I'm going to say this and it's going to be something horrible.
I've got a whole
A lot of tan
box.
and brown, it looks like.
I've got a
I
whole
like
box
it.
that's completely full of like little
You would.
ceramic statues and figurines. So this room and that room, I took all the stuff that was on the wall. Like there was not a single square inch of wall that wasn't covered with something. And so I took all of these pictures and all of
Sounds
this.
like my house.
I took all this stuff down and working on kind of cleaning up a little bit. Yeah, obviously the curtains are extremely old.
Are those your books in the bookshelf or your wife's? You said wife's grandma or wife's mom?
No, those are mine. So my office is almost done. A box and a half left of stuff to unpack, and then hang all of my wall decorations up, and then this room will be completely done. I
always do this thing where like I see a picture of someone doing a stream and they have a bookshelf on the back, and I just zoom in to see what books they have on their shelf.
And they put them there just for you to do that and see
Yeah.
too.
But when I
couldn't
can't
do it.
see, I'm
Yeah.
like, look, you failed your job though. Like,
Because I'm like, if I'm ever somewhere where there was a bookshelf in the background, I wouldn't be able to not put certain books there. Like, and I feel like such a douche for doing it. But how could you not knowingly like think about it? People are
Yeah.
going to be seeing these books,
Mm.
So
I
I
used
just
to-
opt to not have books in the background.
When I was in Korea, I got a copy of Mao's Little Red Book, and I had that on the shelf for a long time. And then my kid was like little. He ripped it up and tore it up. I was so disappointed because supposedly that's like hard to get, but I don't know.
Yeah. For the next stream, I'm gonna set my copy of My Struggle in German just back there on my bed. Just see if someone notices. Now that I mentioned it online.
Now that I mentioned that I own several copies.
So the top shelf has all of my like leadership, economics, and like libertarian type of books. And then the second shelf has like
libertarian.
Yeah, I combined the two. The second shelf has like classic literature. So it's got Wizard of Oz, the Grimm fairy tales, Alice in Wonderland, Sherlock Holmes. It's got a bunch of Rudyard Kipling, Brave New World, Orwell. Like it's got a bunch of like classic literature type stuff. And then as you go
Kipling
down,
was a racist, right? I think we learned that last one. Didn't he write the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo rhyme, which I'm pretty sure. I don't know. He was in that article.
Who is this?
Is at the time it wasn't
Kipling.
racist. So
I don't think Kipling was a racist. If he was racist, he was racist against white people because a lot of what he wrote was pretty anti-British.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Like, Kipling, like the worst white supremacist ever. He spent most of his time hating on the British. So I guess he probably would have made for a good American.
yeah, fuck them British.
They're really white anyway. They're just like inbred.
Now.
Yeah.
Until they colonized everybody.
Terrible teeth.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sorry, I felt bad after the last episode. I gotta be racist against white people on this episode.
Yeah, we didn't talk about white people nearly enough in the last one.
I just rewatched Braveheart the other day, so that was
nice.
pretty much slaughtering of British people.
Hell yeah.
All for it.
I'd vote for Mel Gibson for president, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's just because of the things he said about the JOOs.
You said it, not me.
Right, the you. That's why you'd vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him. I'm not some statist. Fuck. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This is
That's the new model, right?
It's a pretty impressive attack stick there.
What is this?
So,
what am I looking at? And why is it such a great picture?
Is this a Ukrainian fighter here?
Yeah. They've warned Putin of underestimating the Ukrainian people. We got grandma with an AK and the dude with an assault stick.
This is
Dude, if they think you got the numbers, I mean, that's an advantage right there, so why not show
well,
out?
I mean, and who's actually like invading them? Like, are these people that are, I mean, how does Russia work with their military? Like, do you have to do service, or are these people that like want to go into the military? Because there's a big difference between putting me in sending me up to Canada to take Quebec, and sending like somebody who actually joined the military to go take Quebec. Like, sorry guys, I don't really give a shit. Canada can
Oh, speaking of people who may or may not give a shit, did you see that Ukraine is not allowing males 18 to 61 to leave the country? They are now required to stay.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like, so you have these Russian guys that are coming in, and I don't know, like, how many of them actually like think they need to like take over this part of Ukraine, and you have these guys that like, I don't know, do they really think they need to stay? They got family elsewhere, and now they're being forced to stay. Like, I think you saw it in Vietnam when there's a draft and you're forcing people to fight. They don't really always just put their heart into it. They might bleed for it, but they're not trying too hard. They just want to stay alive. So I don't know. It's just stupid shit either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I
there
agree.
he goes.
I'm still here.
Oh, he said stupid shit anyway, and then
Well,
I'm out.
So as I was going around trying to find good news coverage of this topic yesterday, one of the, I think it was CBS. They're like one of the pundits or the correspondents that was talking about how Russia wouldn't be able to maintain control of all of the Ukraine because there would be so many Ukrainians fighting back against them and stuff. It's like, at what point did this become Russia is trying to overthrow the entirety of Ukraine? Am I missing something? Because I'm almost 100% positive the entirety of this conflict revolves around the Donbass region and Ukraine's aggression towards that part and the Russian backing of the separatist states in that region. And that's it.
So I think it's being, and I've seen multiple people like express this idea. You remember back in like, the 60s, the iron, not the Iron Curtain, the what was it, the Iron Curtain? I don't know. Fucking communism coming down. They're worried it's going to be this domino effect and it's going to take over all of Asia and I've seen people talking about this. It's not going to stop there. He's going to keep moving. And like, you get this sense of like fear or I don't know, this idea from like some people that they actually think he's just going to march across and put the USSR back together and who knows where he's going to stop, and it's just all this evil and we need to stop it now kind of thing. And it's like I don't know, and how much of that hype is sold on purpose. I mean, you look
he's
at
unhinged and nobody knows what he's going to do. Like I listened to his entire speech. Like Russian is a pretty harsh language, and he didn't sound unhinged even speaking Russian. Like he sounded pretty calm and calculated. He explained his reasoning for why they're doing it. And I feel like this is the problem that I had through the entire Trump presidency was because of the way the mainstream media behaved. I felt like I was put in a position where I was defending Trump all the time when I didn't really want to defend Trump. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm being put in a position where I'm defending fucking Vladimir Putin right now when I don't necessarily want to or really particularly have a great affinity for Russia. But the way that this is being portrayed and spun just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like the reality of the situation and what everybody is saying especially in the US media and stuff doesn't seem to match up with what appears to be going on from that side. And do I trust Vladimir Putin and anything that he says? No, not necessarily, but from listening to the speech and seeing what's going on, it seems like he's pretty well laid out what he's doing, and it doesn't seem like it's what it's being spun as, especially by Western media.
I think it's one of those things. I think this whole thing could have been avoided if there was actual like diplomatic discussions and it wasn't. But this is my tinfoil hat moment of the day. But like seriously, they've wanted a war with Russia since like Trump got into office. Like I mean, before Trump, Hillary was talking about how tough she's going to be on Russia, and like they've been stoking those flames for forever, and here we are 6 months out of Afghanistan and we're picking a fight with Russia. Biden's doing poorly, and the economy always does great during war, right? You send people to fight, you got all these jobs that are now being filled up by everybody's got a job. I don't know, man. It seems too perfectly timed for everything to go. And they goaded him. I feel like, at the end of the day, Putin's the one that decided to go into Ukraine there, but they goaded him into it. I feel like you totally could have avoided that. This situation did not have to happen. NATO wanted it to happen, and at the end of the day, I don't know. You can only kick somebody so many times and just
right.
Bully.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Poke the stick. He's gonna do it. Poke the stick. He's gonna do it.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we talked about that with, I don't remember if it was us or if I was on a different show, but we talked about that with like the people who are more in the center that keep getting labeled as MAGA or alt-right. And so they're like, they actually align more with traditional Democrats. but because they keep getting called alt-right because they don't agree on really specific stuff, they finally just say, fuck it, I'm going to vote Republican because you bastards obviously don't want us. Like, that's kind of where I feel like it was with Russia in this situation. It's like they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It's like, all right, fine then. If that's the way it's got to be, then we'll just go ahead and make it that way. And to Carlos's point, was it wrong for Putin to invade? I don't know. Was it wrong for Ukraine to carpet bomb a region of their own country for the last 8 years? Like, Putin,
that's it, right?
In Putin's speech, he very explicitly laid out the articles under which he is going to their aid. That they requested aid because they are under constant attack from Ukraine, and he is going in to aid them. And he stated, like, I can't remember what it was, the section and article and everything that says that you go to their aid if they ask for it. So you know, is it wrong for Putin to invade? In Putin's mind, he's not invading. He is going to the aid of a sovereign state that has requested it. So you know, by
the
that
fighters
same logic, is it wrong for Ukraine to have been attacking this region for the past 8 years?
The stuff that Ukraine has been, I think it's important to point out that they've been sort of perpetrating in the Donbass is, it's all a puppet government, like set up by NATO and the US too, and Obama back in 2014. So it's not even like Ukraine is acting sovereignly when they do that either. It's like Putin is reacting against what has been set up there by these other outside entities.
And funded. I mean, like, you know, all those, it's not just setting them up. I mean, how many
And
weapons do we just send to neo-Nazis, you know? Like,
yeah, I think that, I mean, I tend to agree with a lot of what you're saying, Justin, but I still don't know. Like, I wonder, like, what else could have been done. Like, I hate when things come to war. Like, this is always my instinct, right? So I'm like, I feel like awful for the people that, like, the normal everyday citizens of Ukraine who have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, most of them probably don't have nothing to do with it, or, you know, give about much of a fuck except just living, you know.
Right.
Well, like,
and yeah, I think, like, I would say, doesn't like the U.S.
wasn't the leading steel production area in that region of Europe, would any of this even matter? Like, would Ukraine have cared that this region wanted to separate? Would Russia have backed the separation by that region if it wasn't for the fact that this is one of, if not the leading steel producing areas in that part of the country or that part of the world?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah,
was that a rhetorical question?
I mean, yes, to an extent, it is a rhetorical question because I don't think anybody actually has a good answer for it. I mean, there's no way that you can have a good answer for it, but at the same time, like, it
probably plays a factor one way or another.
Question.
You know, it probably plays a factor one way or another. You know, I mean, resources are always nice. It's nice.
And Putin's speech yesterday, he talked about, I mean, he basically gave a history lesson from post-World War II to present day. He talked about like the disbanding of the Soviet Union and how, like, NATO was obviously initially formed as like in opposition to that. And I think that there is, like you said, I'm not going to take Putin at his word for everything, but I would also feel betrayed. I guess he said we accepted the loss of the Soviet Union, and like NATO continues to persist and like do the same sort of things that they were doing like during the Cold War, and I'd probably be pretty pissed off about that too.
Well,
like, there's no reason for NATO to exist right now.
That's it though, right? Like, and I like it, I feel like I'm a broken record saying it, but like that, like, all we get is like our side, and like we have lost the general population has lost the ability to look like from the other side. Like, if you were Putin and you know had NATO constantly, like, you know, in your shit messing things up, like you'd be upset. You'd feel like you're being attacked. You'd feel like, I mean, like, you have to understand that, you know, it's not our way, our idea of, oh, this is right, this is wrong. It's not universal, man. Like, and I'm not, saying anything postmodernist here, but like, you just gotta feel, think what somebody else is thinking, man. Try to put yourself in their shoes and understand. And
Wait, are we the bad guys?
Like the four of us, probably.
Probably.
Suddenly, I feel really bad about all the things I say.
I worry about the I worry about the influence I'm having on my children, because my stepdaughter the other day said, "I'm with Russia." I was like, "All right."
Can you explain your position?
Her position is she's going to back the one she thinks is going to win.
Whichever flag's the prettiest.
She's like a early 2000s Yankees fan or a 90s Cowboys fan, something like that.
She's picking the winner.
Not the Yankees of the 1860s, Clyde.
Yeah, fuck those bastards.
So I'm looking at a map of Ukraine. And,
That's dangerous.
Yeah, no.
Is this the Russian drawn map or the NATO drawn map?
I think it's, I don't know. I found it through pre-search, so let's just say it's, I don't know.
Probably the NATO drawn map.
If you send it in the private chat, I'll pull it up, and then we can all look at the same map that you're looking at, so that you're not,
Well, it's not a big deal.
Describe it to us.
No, it's like it has like this little red section on the side, and it says it's Ukrainian government forces and Russia-backed separatists have been battling for this control over this heavily industrialized portion of the country since 2014. So like, I guess I didn't realize this has been going on for that long. That there's actual like conflict, like hot conflict going on over there, and I wonder how many other people like don't realize that now and think that this is just some new.
Everybody in the U.S.
Yeah, I think like 15,000 people died in like a year or two. Like in, I don't know, sometime in the 2010s. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
People over here have no concept of that. Like anytime, like obviously the U.S. is always at war, but it's never here. It's just. So yeah, I don't know, man. People might feel a little bit differently if they've actually seen it, and I haven't seen war or anything, so kind of talking out of my ass. But I assume it's awful.
This is more of a vent than anything else. But yesterday I got into an argument with someone who was like, "Those poor like Russian soldiers, they're just being like forced to do this, and go into this military conflict they probably want nothing to do with. Like we don't do that over here." And I was like, have you heard of Vietnam? Have you heard of Iraq? Have you heard of Afghanistan? Are you serious right now?
Or any of the wars where there was, conscription, people definitely didn't want to go into those.
Yeah, anything. The whole 20th century, right?
Yeah.
Man. That's another thing, right? Was there? I think there was a single war in the 20th century to now that like the U.S. didn't lie to get into or misrepresent to get into. Like we've, from World War I on, really everything that's been shady dealings to get in, but you get in because I don't know, war's good business, I guess.
You could argue a lot of the wars in the 1800s as well, but it's there. You can point to like blatant false flags in like all of, let's say more last 100 or so years of wars. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. People still don't get it. I don't know how.
Can you reach people like that? Can you get people to understand that? Or is it just like too far for, public education has numbed that part of the brain to think like, I don't know. Is it possible, you guys? What?
I do think that,
I don't know.
and I don't know what the U.S. involvement is ultimately going to be in this, but it seems like the thirst for war is just all, I mean, this is typically the case anyways, but it's like all like the top, right? The neo-libs and the neo-hawks. Like among the like general population, like sometimes there's like a war thirst, but you don't really sense that now, especially after the decade-long war in Afghanistan. Yeah. And there's a writer, I can't remember who it was. He was writing about like Germany's invasion of France in World War II and talking about how France was like they didn't even want to fight, and that and they lost Paris in like a super short time, right? Like I wonder if that's where we are at as far as like our mindset is like don't want to fight, because I mean it is also confusing, and like there's stuff, there's a lot of shit that happens here is like, well, who's in the right anyways right now?
Yeah. I just can't believe that so many people think that should like matter to us. You know,
yeah.
They're like, oh, we have to go protect the Ukraine, and so we stand with the Ukraine and this and that. And it's like you probably don't know anything about the Ukraine. You probably don't know anything about the people you say you're standing with.
It's our Eastern Front, man.
Like a lot of them. Yeah, the Eastern Front, way over there.
And there, one thing I got in an argument with like a conservative friend of mine is like, because she was using the whole like they take away people's freedoms over there in Russia and stuff, and they don't stand for the things we stand for. It's like, well, if you're like more of a social conservative, like there are parts of Russia that actually stand for the values and traditions that you like espouse more so than we do over here in the US. And then like I don't know if Russia is like going through the same biomedical security state that we are here. I'm not sure where they are as far as like vaccine passports and that stuff goes, but it's a very confusing world as far as the word freedom goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You guys have any predictions on the China-Russia allegiance? I guess.
Speaking of freedom.
All right, fine.
No, keep going. I'll pull it up.
No, I think like with Biden sanctioning Russia, right? And like we're not going to deal with you. You're going to put tighten all these screws down. Like China's right there, and I'm pretty sure that like China can provide most of like the things that Russia got from us. Maybe minus a few things, but like generally speaking, I feel like you're pushing two bullies into the same corner. Right, you're kind of creating this reliance on each other that I don't think is going to be a good thing. It's just a matter of time before China goes and does the same thing in Taiwan, and I don't know. I don't know. I got my black pill this morning, but I feel like it's just we're heading down a very dark.
I'm sure,
Keep it up.
China's probably sitting back, kind of like rubbing their hands together, like just seeing how this thing plays out, licking their chops.
I mean, they're going to do whatever's best for them, or whatever they feel is best for them. So they're waiting to see how this thing plays out.
This is the pattern with the Chinese people, right?
See who
Chinese
looks like
people,
they're going to win
Chinese leaders.
and side with them.
And we bring up George Takei.
I had to.
Yeah, these were fun.
I have him blocked, so I had to unblock him just to pull it.
I follow him on Facebook for some reason.
No.
I follow him on Facebook for some reason, so I saw some of these this morning and was like, "Oh my god."
He's as bad as that Robert Wright guy or whatever his name is.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh, does anybody actually listen to that guy? I mean, like. I try not to take advice. I try not to take advice from anybody under 5 foot tall. And
should we read that tweet?
What, George Takei's tweet?
Yeah, you just pulled it up.
For people who don't,
I can't read it, man.
Like this is exclusively.
I thought you were going to read it out loud.
This is like an audio only podcast. So if people
some people listen while they work,
then they're missing it. I don't know where they're getting it because I don't put it up on any of the podcatchers.
The majority of things that I watch on YouTube, I don't actually watch. I listen to them. So.
Well, damn it.
Some of us can't just sit on our asses and watch TV all day.
The protests in Russia from brave citizens there. Hang on, I got to do my George Takei voice.
Ooh,
that might be appropriation.
We always return to
risking
our racist
true life and liberty to voice their opposition to Putin's war with Ukraine, make the convoys protest in North America over freedom seem truly ludicrous.
Oh, we put freedom in.
Yeah. Freedom.
Fuck
These
you,
people
George.
don't want to be stuck with needles by their government.
These people and their more rights.
Yeah.
It's too bad he wasn't a red shirt. And any Star Trek fan will understand what that means. And
I
if you're
never
not
saw a minute of Star Trek, and that guy makes me happy for it. And every time I see a post of his,
Is Carlos a tiny man?
good for you, Carlos.
He's Mexican. Of course he's tiny.
I know a couple, like, normal sized Mexicans.
Normal. Did you just say normal? My God. You mean
There was that
cis-sized?
one Mexican NBA player, Eduardo Nahara, who was like 6'9", but I'm pretty sure he was like only a quarter Mexican or something.
Yeah, it has to be. Who did he play for?
He played for the Dallas Mavericks of all places.
I guess stay close to home.
Yeah.
Or stay in home, according to some. So
It only would have been better if he had played for the Spurs, and because that's just Mexico North.
there we go.
I have definitely known some big Mexicans. I don't just mean like, hefty. I mean like big, tall people. So they exist.
No,
Those are okay. So this is going to be interesting. Those are probably Native Americans.
Mexican heritage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of a fine line as to where the differences.
So a buddy of mine that I used to work with,
it all used to be like one place.
A buddy of mine that I used to work with, he believed that his family was of Mexican descent for forever. And what they ended up finding out was that they were actually Apache, and that when the Western settlement was happening and the Apaches were running around scalping folks, there was like a massive, effectively like a genocidal hunt for the Apaches to stop them from killing the Western settlers. And so because the U.S. military was being used to effectively eradicate them, a lot of Apaches moved south and blended in and took Hispanic last names and blended in with the Mexicans, and then came back north. That way they wouldn't continue to be hunted, because Mexican immigrants at that time in that part of the world it was a normal thing, because Texas was still a part of Mexico and everything else. So it wasn't as bad if you were believed to be Mexican. So there are a lot of people of Hispanic descent that are actually Native American, that they did that to blend in and to not be actively hunted. So if you see a
nice
6'4" Hispanic person, it's probably a Native American, probably an Apache.
Interesting.
It's all a rich tapestry.
It is a rich tapestry. I'm significantly more Native American than Elizabeth Warren and a lot of other people. My great grandmother was Cherokee.
I can see it.
That's what they all say.
Pretty
Anyway,
sure I
moving
didn't
back to,
get any of that mess in my bloodline.
I like the meme. I'm sure everyone saw it with the it was like there's a door and coronavirus exiting and the missile entering the room, and I think Mark said something about it earlier about is this just make the new thing or something, it's COVID's kind of falling apart, so we need something new to go on. This is kind of a great way to transition out of COVID quietly. Nobody asking any questions,
Quietly, yeah. Transitions are messy. This is
we just blow something up somewhere else, create a big distraction, and then boom.
Yeah,
just move on.
Part of that narrative is either, whether you want to believe it's falling apart or shifting, but what better way to distract people from actual legitimate shady things that went on than a good old war over in Europe.
Hey, look, 9/11 after
Eurasia.
they announced trillions of dollars missing.
Right.
The World Trade Centers blow up the next day,
I think the CDC is coming out with new masking guidelines today, so it'll be interesting to see which direction they go. And the New York Times. Did you guys see the New York Times talking about people fleeing Ukraine and crossing the border and the lack of masks?
Very few masks.
Lack of masks.
Only 34% are vaccinated and only 12% are boosted.
We haven't heard from Tony Fauci in a while. He probably wrote that as an op-ed. Like, I gotta get my.
I think it was on CNN site. They had like, oh, here's a bunch of photos to show what's going on in Ukraine right now. And like half the photos were like, one of them was literally of stop traffic on an interstate. And here's like, here's the line of people trying to leave, what have you. And I'm like, this is just a photo of traffic. Like, this doesn't tell me anything of what's going on.
Yeah, like how many of these videos that we're seeing are like the gun range that was shown as the depiction of Syria bombs or whatever, right?
The Kentucky gun range of we had either Syria or was something about the Kurds. What was it that happened with the Kurds when Trump was going to let all the Kurds die a few years ago? All my friends who have never heard of the Kurds were like, "Oh my God, the Kurds!"
I do remember that. Yeah.
There was a video yesterday. It's clear. I don't know if it was meant to be serious or not, but it was like these old people, not old people, but they were dressed like it was like, 1920s, and they're like running away with their bonnets on and everything. And in the background, there's this explosion, and it's just, it's like, it's not human. Like it's a ragdoll, it's a scarecrow, and it's not from the explosion. It's just because like, it's I don't know. Anyway, that was bad understanding.
False flags, right?
Poofters, 3.
Poosters. Oh, that's one of the best. The photo he had was pretty good too. That was a good face on Biden.
Yeah.
He just does not take a good picture these days, does he?
No.
Just dreaming of all the ice cream he's going to be eating in the next half hour. Slobber all over that cone.
So how much like actual like military decisions and stuff do you think that Biden, or whatever iteration of, I mean, it can't even be Biden. There can't even be nobody can even believe that Biden has anything to do with what's going on with like military planning and stuff, right?
No, I don't.
I mean, if he is, God help us all.
No.
I think that position, like, even though it's pretty like corrupted by the State Department and all of that, like, can make military decisions, but not Biden.
Yeah,
like it's not him making any decisions at all.
Somebody else is just delegated in this, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely not Kamala either. I mean, Obama's probably making more decisions than both of them.
Did we talk about her like insane, like, was she doing like an interview or something and had like this like insane word salad of a sentence that just made no fucking sense? I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was
and that was pretty brief. Somebody
Otherwise,
actually pointed it out. They were like, "Look, she didn't say anything."
Yeah.
They I don't know, man. I never hear anything from her.
Well, that's it. Like it's totally.
They are hiding her.
She's a politician, like straight up, but like she's bad. Like most politicians, they can say nothing and you think they said something. She said nothing and like she said nothing. Like it was like, dude, like what?
It would have been better had she just kept that mask on and not said a word.
Usually is.
People are gonna read into that, Dag. What did he mean by that? She's a woman. She's black.
It just meant she's bad at what she does. She doesn't say good things.
She does pretty good. She does some good things. I mean,
the objective meaning of the word "good" is
she did enough to get herself to be, VP. She might not have said anything good, but she did good.
Yeah, she
for some anyway.
That's why Stacey Abrams didn't get that position, because things that Kamala did. A bucktooth gets in the way.
Yeah.
Does it though? I mean,
sometimes there's an issue, you just got to scratch another way.
I love how Clyde hates Stacey Abrams so much, and I asked him who sounds worse, Kamala or Stacey, and he goes, "I've never heard Stacey Abrams speak."
I don't need to.
Which is a smart decision on your part. I just found it funny.
I mean, if it wasn't Kamala,
Well, I mean,
I'm afraid that lizard people like that, you don't know what's waiting for you down there. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if we're talking like, just so I could say, like, places of power, maybe, but like, based on everything else. No, I'd be scared.
So this isn't like the Jin Saki situation.
I mean, well, I like gingers. That's why I like this show.
I see Mark's taking after my cue and letting the beard bush out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. It's
Got a
still
little bit of
cold up here.
flannel on, like going full lumberjack. I like it.
When it gets above 50
Or
degrees in June here, that's maybe when I'll trim it up.
Yeah, I need to do my hair's starting to get in my mouth. That's my line when it starts curling under and getting to my lips.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat like a grilled cheese sandwich, and it's like.
Well, that's the thing about like if I was to do like a mustache, it'd have to be like a good mustache. And any good mustache is going to be, so long that it's going to be cumbersome.
Can you please do the French mustache, Justin? Like, I'm begging you. This is all I ask.
Justin would just make a great like devil. Like you could pull that devil mustache and goatee off. I think I've said it before, but
Yeah.
Yes,
just
you
works
have.
so well.
At least a
Yeah.
couple times.
Yeah. Every time you curl it up like that, I was like, God damn, he'd make a good traditional devil.
You just gotta get rid of
Traditional
all the stuff on the side. Just keep it right here. Make it
You get that
real
evil
nice
pointy
and
face.
pointy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some mustache wax. I can curl it up.
Do it.
I know I'm
Stop by your
missing an
local
opportunity,
mustachery.
I
especially with.
started using my old dread wax. That seems to do all right. I don't have any hair anymore, so the dread wax is just under the cabinet. I'm like, I'll put it to some use. It works.
You had dreads?
I had dreads a couple times in my life.
I gotta see pictures of this.
I'd say we've seen pictures. So, and these are not going to be shared on the show. We've seen pictures of Dag and his like punk phase or whatever.
Phase, what she's talking about.
And there are pictures on Facebook of me in my hippie phase when my hair was down past my shoulders. So yeah, we're gonna need we're gonna need the dread pics there, Clyde.
I wish I still had the hair to pull
See
off
if
the
I can dig 'em
mohawk.
up.
This is probably the least surprising thing that you've ever heard, but I used to have the Hitler Youth haircut, so we'll bring that back.
What's that? A high and tight?
Yeah, you kind of got like the line too, and it's a comb over, and you got the
You got the
size
hard
of
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. That seemed like way too much maintenance.
I just assumed that's what you still had. Like the beanie has the hair attached to it, so that it looks like you have like a normal haircut. But then when you take that off, it's full on Hitler Youth. Hey, this
I
is
guess
this
you'll
is
never
just
know.
an
Or you
appearance for the show. It's
Yeah.
Have we ever seen Mark without a hat on? Now that I think about it,
I
always
think
had a beanie
I
on,
have.
haven't
I don't
you?
know if the rest of you have.
You've seen his true identity.
It's on YouTube somewhere.
But it's on my personal page. So if you go, there's bound to be at least one interview where he didn't have a hat on. And we've done
It's
a
like
few.
Meg or Joe Dirt or something. Missing the top of the skull.
Say he only wore the MAGA hat that one time.
I missed the MAGA hat.
I never have a MAGA hat.
They should make MAGA beanies for like Canadians, MAGA toque.
There's this plumbing company down here, and it's called Red Cap Plumbing, and they wear red hats. And I was like, oh man, that was so unfortunate when Trump came into existence for them. That they just look like they're Trump supporters. The poor guys are probably getting spit on, when they're walking around.
He
I was
shows up to do some work at a residential house as like the science is real sign or whatever. And he's like, oh, not this again. Every time he opens the door.
Yeah, I don't want to let them in,
Yeah.
We're gun toters. I always feel for companies who have like some sort of it's just some sort of thing they can't help that ruins them. Like the I don't know, I'm sure Mark doesn't remember, but do you guys remember the My Buddy dolls that they used to sell back in the 90s? It was like a big doll for boys, this big stuffed doll. Well, I guess it's what the what Chucky was based on. So like the My Buddy dolls are like blowing up, and then some asshole makes this movie about a killer doll based on your doll, and then like you go out of business because nobody wants a giant life-size doll in their house anymore. I'm like, man, that's so unfortunate.
I don't blame them. Life-size dolls. That sounds terrible.
Hey, I hear you. I always thought it was a weird toy, but
Well, how did Corona do during COVID?
oh, the beer.
Yeah.
Did you get the COVID bump? I mean, people were drinking more, so maybe it was a wash.
Maybe they benefited.
Yeah,
I'm sure Corona actually did great during the pandemic because everything was Corona time. So like if they were smart
Free
at
publicity.
marketing, they would have capitalized on that. Like they
Yeah.
should have leaned into that and just ran hard with it the whole time.
We're not saying that drinking Corona heals the coronavirus, but we're not saying that it doesn't either. What is this?
Yeah, it's they definitely got their name out there. You know, name recognition is tops.
Yeah.
Internet search, I don't know. That might be hit or miss. It might be a little drown if people are searching for you online. So take it for what you will there. So, how's the weather? Everybody's
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, we jumped straight into.
It's been in the high 80s here.
Shut
Are
up.
you serious?
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, it's been hot. I got to go ride around in my truck without air conditioning when we get off of here.
Yeah.
It's not too
That's
I was
cool.
sweating the other day.
bad this
We had the
morning.
goats.
Taking my hands in like 5 years worth of beer cans. It's a truck bed full. Feel like a real piece of white trash. My beat up truck.
When I was in between college and I was doing my master's work, I was drinking a bunch of Keystone, and I never went to like bring them back, and so I just would put them back in the 30 racks. I don't know how many I had, man. It was like I had a Suzuki Samurai, so it wasn't very big, but man, I had to make multiple like trips, and then I had a shopping cart full of empty Big Bears, and it was tough times. But
I hear the price of aluminum is pretty high right now, so I'm hoping to make a few bucks. We'll see how it goes.
It is
Okay.
16 degrees here, and it snowed all night. So that's where
Good
I'm
God.
see, the goats had babies yesterday, and I had to go to work, and so they had them probably like 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. They both dropped at the same time, but I had them in the barn, and I had to leave early because I was worried that it was too hot in the barn. You know, it's like a metal barn, and because it was like 80 degrees outside, man. I went in the barn, I was sweating, and goats are starting to get hot. I don't know. See, that's why I don't live up north.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like 30
Keep Justin
here.
away.
So there I was. I started sweating. Goats were getting all hot. And tell you what. Crap.
All right, we got-
All right.
This is Carlos's
Real, we
favorite
gotta-
part, is the bestiality part.
We got anything else for today? I'm actually getting ready to record an episode of Peddling Fiction with Johnny, and then I've got to go get my stepdaughter registered for school here, so because she's starting here at the new
cool.
school on Monday, and then I get to go get the rest of the shit from my house and start moving stuff again. It's a busy day, and it's only like 30 degrees, which is
Sweet.
sucks.
Shit, yeah, man.
What is the genesis story
Yeah,
of
let's do
them
it.
naming their show Peddling Fiction?
Have you not listened to the opening sequence?
No.
It's so Obama. It's an Obama speech where he said,
Justin doesn't know.
I thought it was like a fictional podcast, actually. Like,
I did at
stories or
first
something.
as well.
I didn't-
And then I thought maybe it was like the media peddles fiction kind of play on of that. Like
Obama
That's what
has a
it is.
line where he says, anybody,
Obama also peddles fiction.
Obama says, anybody
Married to a
who
man.
says that is peddling fiction. And anyway.
Gotcha.
See, if I knew I was going to be asked this question, I'd have had it queued up for I'd have had that intro queued up so I could play that part.
You did a really good job of marketing for them.
I mean, we talk about a lot of economics and libertarian type ideas and stuff like that. So,
Peddling
and
fiction.
just what's going on in the news. I'm sure today we'll talk about Ukraine and who knows what else.
Sounds good. Maybe I'll
Just some
listen.
changes.
It's true.
I'm trying to wrap
very
the show
quickly.
up, Carlos. I got shit to do today.
You very
He
quickly shifted
doesn't have
away.
the time when the show ends. He doesn't have the time to go to the bathroom for a quickie.
Basically, what Justin just did is what NATO is trying to do and shift away from the COVID narrative to the war narrative.
Damn straight.
I tried to bring it full circle for us. That's where you press end, but you didn't. So,
Oh well, fuck. I got it. Do it again.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.